All right. Hey there, everyone. Dr. Beth Westy here. And tonight I wanted to talk about exercise, types of exercise, what everybody looks at when they're trying to lose weight. This is something that I didn't cover a lot of actually in my book, The Female Fat Solution, but I do talk a lot about with people because everybody wants to know, oh my gosh, I want to lose weight. You know, I'm struggling with my energy. I'm struggling with my hormones. I've hit menopause. I've had this other thing going on. How do I do this, right? And exercise is one of those things that is, you know, everybody wants to look at and first, because honestly, it's almost kind of easy. So I actually just got back from doing an aerial class, which is, you know, with the cloth that you hang from. Super fun. Never done that before, so very different. But I always love doing new types of fitness, exercise, all that stuff. I'm always open to a lot of it just because I know I want to keep introducing new types of fitness into my body. That way I don't ever get used to anything. But the biggest thing with exercise overall is that it really depends on what your body needs. So for a lot of people that I chat with, and oh my gosh, I've had this conversation, I feel like 18 times in the past 3 days where everybody, I'm not kidding, I chatted with someone and she was like, you know, okay, I'm doing this and this and this. And I was like, okay, but how's your protein? And she's like, okay, well, but I'm doing this and this and this, and I'm working out, you know, and I didn't work out as hard, you know, this day, but then the next day I worked out extra hard to make up for it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, great, but how's your protein? And she's like, well, I'm just getting this many calories though. And I was like, if you're not getting that protein in and not starting with the foundation, you're missing the whole point of it. And all that exercise is just stressing your body out more. So I was like, okay, then stop exercising so much. What? How am I supposed to lose weight if I'm not exercising? And I was like, listen, if you're not doing the nutritional things that your body needs and you're forcing this exercise more and more and more, you're moving in the wrong direction completely. So I'll put a link below this video if you have questions on fitness, on what you're doing, if you feel totally stuck, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I've been to the gym and I got this trainer and it's great, but I'm not getting, you know, or seeing the results that I want to see. A lot of times it's because you are stressing your body out so much. If you're going through something, right? Like, so perimenopause, menopause, adrenal fatigue, thyroid issues, these are big things that if they're not addressed nutritionally and you are pushing yourself really, really hard in the gym, you actually can be taking steps backwards. Yeah. Which is super frustrating because you're going to the gym trying to be fit and healthy and strong and get results anyway, right? Oh, super frustrating. So really, really essential that you guys are, you know, just being conscious of this. And it's so funny. Like, I swear, I've had this conversation so many times with people asking about, you know, oh my gosh, what do I need to eat, blah, 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 but here's all my fitness that I'm doing. Here's all this stuff. I'm like, that's so great. That's so great that you're pushing yourself harder. That's so great that you started CrossFit. That's so great that, you know, X, Y, Z. But again, if your nutrition is not on point, then you're really just running yourself into the ground more and more and more. So it's not about a specific exercise. It's not about, oh my God, I get so irritated with those, this exercise for a flat belly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, one, women aren't supposed to have flat bellies because we have uteruses, right? Yes, that's one. Two, one exercise is not going to do it, right? It is about your nutrition. It is about your overall health and everything else. And so, you know, not that some of those things can't strengthen your core, but come on, you know. And then gals are signing up and going to the gym and killing themselves at the gym, not feeling good, not feeling energized, having a hard time recovering, you know, then you're not really going to be progressing. You're going to be exhausted. I chatted with somebody that said, she's like, well, I worked out on Monday and I'm still really, really sore. And I'm like, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. If your body's not recovering, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So you're missing key things nutritionally. So overall, when you talk about the right kind of exercise, it depends. It depends on what your goals are, where your hormones are at, and how fast your body is coming around and what you're doing nutritionally, right? So it's really tough to say this type of exercise or HIIT exercise. HIIT exercise isn't made for everybody. Lifting weights, yes, I do promote like some type of weight-bearing activity for overall muscle and bone strength for women, but not the same type of exercise is going to work for all women. So it's really important that you're finding something that fits with your body and your goals. So I'll put this link below this video. And if you guys have questions on this, please let me know. Like, comment below. Even if you're watching the replay of this, I'm more than happy to chat with you about any of these issues. Or if you're like, okay, I heard this about exercise, but oh, I'm running a marathon and that's going to help me lose weight, right? Oh my gosh, I have a lot of friends that did that. They got into marathon running, trying to lose weight. They were like, if I set this big goal, I'm going to have to run all these miles. That's going to totally help me lose all this weight. And what happens is that they actually gain weight. Yep, because it's so stressful on their body. Gaining 5 to 10 pounds while running 18 miles, because that's hard on the system and they're not prepped and not properly fueling for it. Really, really big difference. So, like I said, if you're catching the replay of this and you have questions on exercise, or you're like, hey, I heard this, or hey, what about this? Pop the question below, or you can always reach out, message me, or again, please feel free to schedule a call with me. There are so many things that women go through that if they're not being addressed properly, it's really tough to move forward with it. How do you know what is too much and what's not enough? That's a good question. And what if your cortisol level is high? Can I lift weights? Another good question. Okay. So knowing it's tough to say for each person. And some of this is, so this is where it's easiest to have a conversation because it's individual, right? So where my body's at, where I train at is very different than other people, right? And it's just dependent upon what I'm doing and what my goals are. So if you have a certain goal, and oftentimes people associate, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to do that by December, and because now we're into September, right? So I want to lose 20 pounds by December. I'm going to get to the gym this many times. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, that's great, but where's your nutrition on it? And how are you supporting that with your nutrition? So that's a big key. So it just depends. And if you're overtraining, it also does the opposite. So, and the other thing too is that you got to find something that you love. If you don't love lifting weights, then that's not going to be fun. If you don't love running, don't run a marathon. I don't run marathons because, I'll run for a couple of miles, but then I'm like done. Then I'm good. I'm good. So it is different per person, right? Cortisol levels. Now, you're normally supposed to have cortisol levels that are higher in the morning. And I actually take women through, in my 12-week program that I have, I take women through different tactics to sort of monitor and mitigate their cortisol levels right away from the beginning of the day and keep them at bay so they don't rise during exercise. So if you already have high cortisol and you're training on top of that and not getting any glucose in at 30 minutes, you're setting your body back. And then that's going to be tougher to recover. And instead of getting in a fat burning zone, your body actually switches over to a fat storage mode. So that's where women are like, oh, I know I'm stressed out. I got to get to the gym because I'm going to burn off, some of this stress. And you get adrenaline and you get endorphins and enkephalins and everything from that exercise, which help you feel better right at that time. But then afterwards, you crash and burn, you don't feel good, you don't have energy the rest of the day, physical energy, mental energy, and then you're like, why isn't this working? Why am I not losing weight? I'm kicking my butt at the gym, and it's because you can't recover. That's really what it is. It's not the right thing for your cortisol. You're not addressing the cortisol and not doing the right thing for your cortisol level. So it's a really great question on cortisol and the effect on the system that if you have high cortisol. So if you have more questions on how exactly you do that, again, just click the link. And schedule a call. I'm more than happy to kind of say, hey, if this is the type of workout you do, here's the best places to put in, glucose or these little things to make you recover quicker. Because for women, I don't know if you guys have heard the thing where they're like, oh, if you lift weights, you burn calories all day long. I remember hearing that. I think I was in high school or maybe early college or something. And that was like, ooh, I'm so happy I'm lifting weights because I'm going to burn calories all day. Yay, me. Well, the female body actually doesn't do that. Maximum, it burns up to 3 hours later from lifting weights. 3 hours, that's all you get. Then, what does your body do? It stops burning. It stops. Why? Because our bodies aren't designed like that. So you have to find other tactics and other ways to get and keep your metabolism going. So these are really important things. How the female body works, how to really shift your focus each week of the month. And that's also something I haven't talked a ton about, but if you guys want more info on it, I can do more videos on that. If you guys are like, oh my gosh, yes, I noticed during, you know, second week of my cycle, I am, you know, feeling this and I'm feeling really good, but then all of a sudden right before my period starts, 5 days before I'm on the struggle bus and I don't know why. What do I do? You know, I can talk about different types of exercise, or, you know, monitoring yourself in the gym, or, you know, at boot camp or your fitness classes, that type of a thing, because that's what I do to make sure that I'm respecting my body and where it's at, and then allowing it to push as hard as I want to and can, and then have the recovery happen, because that's really the name of the game. That's how you get and increase your fitness, is to push yourself harder and recover faster. Push yourself harder, recover faster. So if you can navigate those two things, then that's it, right? But it depends on where your hormones are at. It depends on what your nutrition is, all this other stuff. So it's not an easy answer, and it's definitely not one thing, and it's not a one size fits all, and it's definitely not a one size fits all for women. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Please let me know your questions, or if you want me to dive into more on exercise, more than happy to do that. I just want to know kind of where you guys are at with that, because sometimes it's a little overwhelming with all the info out there. So I really appreciate you watching and tuning in all the way to the end. And if you need more help, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later.